Welcome back, learners. In our last video, we explored how the French Revolution planted the seed of nationalism. But how did this idea grow and spread across Europe? That's exactly what we are going to find out today. The French Revolution inspired people, but Europe in the 19th century was not what we see on the map today. It was made up of kingdoms, empires, and principalities. So the big question is, how did Europe slowly start turning into modern nation states like our Germany, Italy, or Greece? Nationalism did not emerge in a uniform way. The ideas of nation states and nationalism were closely related to the changes that were taking place in Europe during the 19th century. These changes were not just political, they were social and economic too. So, in this journey, we will meet new social classes like the liberal middle class, explore how Napoleon changed the political landscape, and understand the struggles that eventually led to the unification of countries. You will see that nationalism did not just grow in one place, it was a wave that swept across the continent. Let's now begin with the very first part of the subunit, the society that existed in the early 19th century, the aristocrat and the rising middle class. Are you ready? Before going to topic, what is meant by aristocracy? Have you heard that word? You have heard, but in different way you have heard. In your 6th grade, we have seen the Vedic age lesson. Okay, in that Vedic age lesson, the people have divided into four subgroups: Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, Shudras, Vaishyas. So, in that, who plays a dominant role? Who played a dominant role? Obviously, Brahmanas. So, here, same like that, aristocracy is nothing but the highest class in the society. These members have, this aristocracy members used to have the common culture, common language, common ritual practices. So here they used to be somewhat rich in the society. Okay, though they are rich in the society, they were very small in group. Okay, and they used to have own property also, and they used to have the common French language. So here, to make their community so strong, what they used to do here is that they used to do marriage within their community itself. Okay, within their community itself, they used to do the marriages to make the relationship between their community to strong. Okay, the next concept what we are going to see is that here the majority of the population is peasants. Okay, in the Europe continent. So the entire Europe continent is divided into three: western, eastern, central. If you take first, let me go with the western side. If you take western side, most of the land, okay, were cultivated by tenant. Who were called tenant? Those who didn't have own land, they used to get other land from the landowners and they used to work there for the rent. For that, they used to give monthly rent to the landowner. So those were called tenants, and apart from the tenants, a small owners also were there in the western side of the Europe. Most of the land, bulk is nothing but most of the land were cultivated by the tenants only. Okay, if you take Eastern and Central Europe, in this Eastern and Central Europe, here the land is nothing but we can able to see here more estate. There is the difference between the cultivation land and this estate. Okay, so even in our India also we are having tea estate, coffee estate. Okay, so in the Assam, even to the Ooty side. Okay, so here this is nothing but in the eastern and the central Europe, most of the land covered with the estate. So under this estate, normally we knew very clearly that if estate is there, definitely employees will be more, and they used to be work under that estate owner, right? So same like that here also, these estates were cultivated or formed by the serf, SCRFS, which means that an agriculture laborer bound by the feudal system. In my previous video, in our first subunit itself, I have explained about what is meant by feudal system. Okay, so here the laborer used to be under the control of feudal system. Okay, even in our country we can able to see that serfs, but not under the feudal system. Okay, in our country, not under the feudal system. So this was happened in Europe in the 18th century. This is one case. In the same Central Europe and the Western Europe, Okay, we can able to see that industrialization production. Because of the industrialization production, we can able to see one different class entered into the society. Okay, before that, we are going to see about the industrialization. What is mean by industrialization? Industrialization is nothing but replacing of human labor by the machine labor. Human labor is nothing but the humans are working. If you take industry and factories, the human also will be there, machine also will be there. In the 19th and the 18th century, at all, before the 18th century, only human were there to work in the industries. Okay, so because of this human labor, what is the disadvantage? Can you? So here we can able to say some of the disadvantages. Let I say that time time delay will be there. Okay, we can't able to complete the work within the accuracy time, because the manufacturing is somewhat big process, right? Okay, so that was the one disadvantage. The second disadvantage is nothing but it will not be more accurate. If you use machine, our work will be complete as soon as fast. Okay, writing in the hand, typing in the computer will be differ, right? Writing means it takes time. Typing means it will be very fast. And automatic generating error or grammatical error and all will be checked there itself. Okay, so this is a common example I am giving. So here the industrialization once the industrialization began in England in the second 18th century, it came. Okay, to where is nothing but almost half of the country. But in France as well as in the German, this industrialization concept came in the around 19th century only. So because of this industrialization, a new group of people emerged out. That new group of people is nothing but working class population or middle class people. Not only because of the industrialization alone, because of the urbanization. Once industrialization come, it leads to urbanization. Almost you know what is meant by urbanization. Okay, cities, villages turned into cities are called as urbanization. This industrialization and urbanization creates a new social group or began to rise. They are called middle class people. This middle class people, they became the driving force behind many nationalist movement in Europe. They wanted political rights, national unity, and they also were the person who thought to end an autocratic monarchy power. Okay, we are saying they. Who were involved in that middle class people? Nothing but middle class people is don't think that only the poor people will be there. It doesn't like that. So here it consists of industrialists, businessmen, professional, peasants, educated, uneducated. Okay, all these people were there in the middle class people. They also have the common ideas. What did I say previously? Okay. Our next topic is about the liberalism. What is meant by liberalism? This word, this idea came in the early 19th century in Europe. So, what is meant by liberalism? Where does this word comes from? Okay, where does this word come from? Okay, liber is nothing but it is a Latin word which means that free. Okay, here the people need that free. Okay, what is the motto or idea is nothing but freedom for the individual and equality. The society should give the equality and freedom for all the individual in a country. That is called as liberalism. That's what people are expecting from the government. Okay, and apart from that, we can say one more thing also. Liberalism gives an end to the autocratic government. That also we can able to see. And we can also say that so liberalism needs constitution also, we can say. What does this liberal thinkers believe? Okay, what they used to believe of? They used to believe that everyone should be free to think, speak and act. Everyone should be free to think, speak and act. Second one, there should be no discrimination between the people based on the birth or class. Third one, the government should be formed by the will of the people, not by kings or aristocrat. Which means that what is the meaning of the word will of the people? So how we are having the democracy form of government? Okay, so here we are only selecting our leader through the process called election. We are having voting rights. That's what here the people are expecting from the government. They also need this voting rights. Liberalism is nothing but in political way also they are expecting, in economical way also they are expecting. In political way, in political means liberalism in politics means what is their demand here for? They are demanding for the constitution. They need a set of rules to how the government want to work. For that they need the set of rules. Next thing is that elected representatives. Here the king or the queen should not take decision. Okay. The next thing is that parliamentary system where the laws used to be discussed and voted. Okay, at last they want to give an end to absolute monarchy as well as aristocratic people also. In short, we can say that power to the people, not to a single ruler. This is what they are expecting political wise. So for that example we have seen in the French Revolution, every people didn't get the right to vote. In the French Revolution lesson we have seen that. So the people were divided into active citizen, passive citizen. Only active citizen got right to vote, but the passive citizen didn't even get right to vote. What is the qualification of active citizen? Did you remember that? 3 days salary they want to pay as a tax. If they are able to pay, they are able to right to vote. If they are not able to pay, they didn't have voting rights. This we have seen. Okay. And one more thing, that propertied person, propertied male alone got voting rights. Did you remember that? Non-propertied men didn't even get the voting right. Even in the Jacobean period also, most of the adult male got right to vote. But in the Napoleon period, again it was limited. Okay, for women as well as for the non-propertied men, they didn't even get the right to vote. So these were the problem faced by the people. So they are fighting for the liberalism in political way. Okay, in the political way they are expecting that. In the political way, what is mean by liberalism for them, or what is mean by freedom for them? In political way, each and every citizen who cross the respective age, they should have the voting rights. This what their demand through the political way. Next we will see in the economical way. In economical way means what they are expecting, what is their freedom or what is their liberalism. Economical way, they are expecting some more leniency. For example, in the year of 1800, many European states had different weight and measures. They want to pay taxes between cities and states. Restrictions on goods and trade were difficult. Okay, so many restrictions were there. All this made hard for the business to grow. So they are expecting, and they are expecting somewhat free market where they can able to move their goods very easily, and there should have only one currency. There should not be no interference of kings or landlords in the business. They are expecting these and all is happen. Definitely their economical way will be increase of. So here for that they have given here example. In this example is nothing but we have seen that in the Napoleonic Code, Napoleon has introduced so many reforms. We have seen measures. So in the German speaking region at all, Napoleon introduced so many measures. What is that so many measures? So one is that he made 39 states into one group. Under one organization, he brought out those 39 states under one umbrella, which means that confederation is nothing but an organization that consists of a number of parties or groups. All these 39 states come under one thing, which is called as Zollverein. Okay, so here that we can say. And one more thing is that each of this, actually in this 39 states, each states used to have different currency, different weights and measures. For example, if a merchant is traveling from Hamburg to Nuremberg, he want to cross through 11 custom barrier. What is the meaning of custom barrier? Restrictions that are there to trade. Okay, they want to cross out this 11 in the form of might be taxes or license. Example I am saying. So custom barriers is nothing but some barrier or some measures that is making the trade to be difficult. Okay, so a merchant want to cross out this 11 custom barriers, and in each barrier, in each state, okay, they want to pay 5% of the tax. That too, it will not be same. Based on the weight, it will be vary. Okay, for example, here they have given the cloth was measured in the term of LE. So if we are moving, if we are transporting, or if we are selling the cloth from Frankfurt, so here when it is crossing each place, you can able to see in your book, 54.7 centimeter of cloth in Mainz, 55.1 centimeter in Nuremberg, 65.6 centimeter in Freiburg. Okay, likewise it is changing. Okay, so it is hard for the merchant to sell out his product without any custom barrier. Okay, you want to pay huge tax, then how come you will see the profit in his business? Okay, so here merchant were expecting that they need free good trade. Okay, so here that's what at last, because of the Napoleon, a custom union Zollverein were formed and joined. I told na that 39 states joined together, joined by most of the German states they have given here. Okay, that is nothing but that Zollverein is nothing but 39 states joined together under one umbrella, that is called as Zollverein. And apart from that, so here that union Zollverein union abolished this trade barrier. Okay, trade barrier were abolished by that union, and now it will be very easy for the merchant to sell his product from one region to another region. Not only that, there were different 30 currencies were there. From that 30 currencies, it was reduced to 2. Okay, so apart from that, they have created the railway network at all. Okay, this movement is very very important, right? So when we are transporting the product, so the movement is very very important to make that mobility, to make that movement. Here they have introduced railway network. That was also very easy for the merchants to trade their things. Our next concept in the second subunit is about the new conservatism after 1815. After 1815, what was happened? So the defeat of Napoleon, it was happened in the year of 1815. This defeat was done by a group of European powers. That European powers called conservatives. They started a process called conservatism. What is meant by conservatism? Conservatism means a political philosophy that favors tradition, established institution and gradual change rather than sudden reforms. After 1815, it aimed to restore monarchies, aristocratic privileges and maintain political stability. So they are ready to bring back the old tradition again. Okay. Tradition is nothing but what and all the kings has delivered, what and all the reforms that king has followed. So they try to bring back that. They want that same monarchy power. They don't want to make the people to be in the freedom manner. So they thought to restore all the changes, or they thought to restore the same process what was followed in the monarchy form of government. But it was very hard to change again, because already Napoleon brought so many reforms or measures which were good for the people. So the people were enjoying it also, right? Sudden changes they can't able to bring. Who? Conservatives. So they are trying to restore, which means that they are not going to change all the law which brought by Napoleon. Those laws which brought by Napoleon will be there in the conservatism, but along with it, the freedom concept should not be there. This was the thought in the minds of the conservatives. So who were those European powers joined together and they have defeated the Napoleon? Nothing but Britain, Russia, Prussia and Austria. So those 4 countries joined together and under the control of one person. The head was there for this master plan. Who was it? It's nothing but Austrian Chancellor Duke Metternich. After this defeat, they are signing a treaty which was called Treaty of Vienna. It was an important question. What and all was the changes done in the Treaty of Vienna? Through the Treaty of Vienna, they tried to do some of the changes in the law that was brought out by Napoleon. So during the French Revolution, when Napoleon was there, Napoleon removed Bourbon dynasty from the France. That Bourbon dynasty again came into the power. Okay. So here apart from that is the first thing was happened after the signing of Treaty of Vienna. First one is that Bourbon dynasty again enter into the France. That was removed during the French Revolution. Second thing is that so many states here they try to control the France under their control, because the France in future they should not expand their territory. This was the motto of the Duke Metternich. Okay, France should not expand its territory, which means that they should not occupy, they should not conquer any other states in future. So to suppress that, okay, to control that, they made so many states around its border. France is at the center. Around the France, it was like a bodyguards. Okay, so they were around the France, tried to suppress the expansion of territory. So let me see that who were those states around the France to control the France. In the north of France, Netherlands was given to Belgium, including Netherlands and Belgium was there in the north of the France. In the south, if we see Guyana and Piedmont, those two states joined together and they were in the south. In the west side, new territories which were captured by France was given to Prussia, and few parts of Saxony was given to Prussia. Total Prussia was under the in the direction of west of the France, and Austria was given to North Italy. Okay, so North Italy and Austria were there in the west also. In the east side, if you see that Poland was given to Russia. All this was happened. Actually, who were removed by the Napoleon during French Revolution, whose territories as taken from that same king by the Napoleon was given to the same kings. Okay, they are going to join together and they are going to start new conservative order. After this, they set up a regimes. Regimes is nothing but new system or process that was set up after this decision. That was happened in the 1815. That is completely called autocratic, which means that monarchy form of government again came. So after this, what they thought is that Duke Metternich was so clear in this, we should not allow the people to speak about the nationalism, freedom, this at all. To control that, they brought out some more measures to show that autocratic government is more power. Here, the people did not have any rights to say anything about the kings to the newspaper. Censorship brought. Okay, so here they are under the control of the king now. Although conservatism brought temporary peace, it could not stop the spread of nationalist and liberal ideas, especially among the youth and middle classes. But even though conservative rulers tried hard to control the liberal and nationalistic ideas, they could not silence everyone. Some people refused to accept this return to monarchy. And this is where today's topic begins. Who are they? What did they want? And why were they so important to the rise of nationalism in Europe? Now let's look about it. Who were the revolutionaries? Revolutionaries were liberal, nationalist individuals, often young, who strongly opposed the conservative system set up after 1815. They believed in ideas of liberty, equality, and national unity. Many of them were students, writers, and professionals. Actually, why they were joined in this? What did they need? Their dream was to create a nation based on democratic principles. They wanted to end monarchy, remove foreign rule, and unify people who shared a common language, culture, and identity. For these things, what did they do? These revolutionaries formed secret societies to spread their ideas. They operated underground because most conservative governments had strict censorship and would arrest or punish anyone supporting liberal ideas. So here one person came as a volunteer leader who support for their country unification. He belongs to Italy, who was called Mazzini, an young Italian revolutionary. Mazzini was born in Geneva in 1805. When he was in the age of 24, he started a revolution. He done a revolution in a place called Liguria. So for that he went out of the country. Exile is nothing but he went out of the country in the year 1831. He started two societies. One more thing that I want to say, one thing to you. He was one of the member in the Carbonari movement. Carbonari is nothing but secret association that used to happen in the night time. Night time they used to gather together and they used to discuss about the important incidents, important discussion. So all this one will happen. Okay, he was one of the member in that Carbonari and he started two important organization which was called Young Italy. What is the motto of the Young Italy is nothing but aimed at unifying Italy into a single republic, and next one is that Young Europe. Okay, a network of like-minded revolutionaries across countries. Mazzini believed that the nation are not just a territory but group of people with common identity and history. Okay, though many of their movements were crushed by king, these revolutionaries kept the idea of nationalism alive. They inspired future uprisings and revolt in Italy, Germany, and other parts of Europe. All these actions by Mazzini and his group member, because he liked to gather the same thought in the minds of the people, because he need only youngsters in his in his association, or in his two association I said na, Young Italy and Young Europe. So in those two association, he tried to include the members who used to have the same thought, who used to ready to fight for the nationalism. By seeing all this one, our Metternich got scared. He was describing Mazzini as the most dangerous enemy of our social order. If the people, or if these persons are ready to, are continuously spreading the ideas of nationalism in the minds of the people will not obey to the conservatives. Right? What is the motto of the conservatives? They want to bring back the autocratic monarchy form of government. But this Mazzini and Mazzini members are trying to convince the people, are trying to spread the ideas of nationalism to the people. Okay, so they are trying to suppress the Mazzini. This was the end of the revolutionary. So students, remember, the path to nationalism was not built only by kings or wars. It was also shaped by brave individuals who believed in liberty and unity, even when they were hard to work in secret. In our next video, we will look at how these revolutionary ideas and tensions led to actual revolutions and uprisings across Europe in 1830 and 1848. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to Social Decode. Bye.